In a quiet little corner in the Museum of Hiroshima, I met a little girl. She never grew older than 12, but she taught the world how to hope. In 2023, I traveled to Japan with Benny's Royal Tours. As we journeyed through the country, I found myself quietly marveling at its neat structures and pristine streets. It wasn't just cleanliness, it felt like a reflection of something deeper, a culture rooted in care, discipline, and respect. As we were traveling to Hiroshima, I had a simple conversation with Benny, the founder of these travels. He spoke to me about a little girl. He spoke about her extraordinary courage, her resilience. At first, it felt like just another story, but something about this girl stayed with me. This is the first time I was hearing about Sadako Sasaki, and this is her story. I found this book, Sadako Sasaki and the 1,000 Paper Cranes, in a small bookshop inside the museum. This helped me to understand Sadako's story and present it before you, a story powerful enough to change the way we see life. Shigeyo, a barber by profession, and his wife Fujiko were excited at the birth of their second child, a daughter. They named her Sadako, which means happiness. The world was at war when Sadako was born in 1943. She grew up among hardships. Food, clothes, and other essentials became scarce. But her parents did their best to hide the difficulties from Sadako and her elder brother Masahiro. Shigeo was recruited by the Japanese army and had to leave home. Life was peaceful for the children as they played by the river near their house. They were not worried about the danger of bombing or the air raid alarm when they had to hide in cramped shelters until the all-clear signal. It was all a game for them. Early in the morning of August 6, 1945, air raid alarms rang through Hiroshima. People took cover in shelters, but as usual, the all-clear signals rang and life went back to normal. Little did they know that an American bomber plane, Enola Gay, carrying an atom bomb little boy, was headed towards Hiroshima. As the Sasaki family sat down for breakfast, they heard yelling in the street. Their neighbors were looking up at the sky. Dozens of sparkling, radiant lights twinkled, filling up the sky with a magical sparkle, unlike anything they had ever seen before. Sadako's grandmother called out to the children, "Come in and finish your breakfast." Just then, the city lit up with what seemed like the brightness of 1,000 suns, followed by an enormous explosion. The atomic bomb exploded at 600 meters above the ground and blanketed the whole city with intense heat, 3,000 to 4,000 degrees Celsius. Did you know iron melts at 1,500 degrees Celsius? This will give you an idea about the intensity of the heat. Sadako was blown into the yard. Her mother picked her brother from the debris and gathered her children towards her. Her grandmother died later that day. There was unrecognizable ruins everywhere. Flames engulfed the debris. About 80,000 people were killed immediately. Sadako was only 2 years, too young to understand destruction, too young to even remember fear. As we walked through the museum, the destruction caused by the bombing wasn't just described, it was felt. There were clothes burnt and fragile, objects melted by the heat beyond imagination. Every piece a quiet witness to a moment when an entire city changed forever. The atomic bomb dome became one of the very few structures left standing. It tells of a moment when everything else was erased, but chose to preserve this one scar, not to dwell in pain, but an unwavering plea that humanity must never allow such a moment to happen again. After the bombing, Hiroshima struggled to come back to life. Many people continued to die in the year that followed due to what they call the atom bomb disease, exposure to radiation. In 1951, Shigeo rebuilt his barber shop. Slowly, life got better and Sadako started school. She was a popular student, hardworking, strong, and full of life. She loved sports and was the fastest runner in her class. When Sadako was around 11, she began to feel tired, dizzy, and weak. Doctors diagnosed her with leukemia, the atom bomb disease. At most 1 year to live. During that time, the Sasakis were in deep financial trouble, but they gathered the money they saved for emergency and admitted Sadako to Red Cross Hospital. She soon made friends with everyone in the hospital and often went to visit other patients to cheer them. Not once did she complain about the painful treatment or her worsening condition. She even refused pain medications, which was very expensive. One day, a nurse carried a string of origami cranes into her room as a get-well-soon gift. According to ancient Japanese legend, anyone who folds 1,000 cranes will be granted a wish, her father explained. Sadako wanted to be well, return to school, and live with her family again. She poured her limited energy into folding cranes. She collected every bit of scrap paper and turned them into carefully folded cranes. Towards the end of August, Sadako completed 1,000 cranes, but her condition worsened. Her pain and discomfort increased. Her wish did not come true. But she did not lose hope. She continued making cranes. Another 1,000, she said, this time to end all sufferings and bring peace to the world. She was growing weaker and weaker. But there was no stopping her. She kept on folding cranes lying down. On October 25th, as if drifting off to sleep, Sadako passed away. She was just 12 years old. But her story did not end there. Her friends, her classmates continued folding cranes for her, and soon the world joined in. Today at Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, there stands a monument dedicated for Sadako and children like her. Every year, people all over the world send paper cranes, thousands, millions. In Japan, the Hiroshima peace flame was lit in 1964. This flame still burns, not just in the memory of what was lost, but as a quiet question to all of us. How many more stories like Sadako's must the world hear before we finally choose peace? She folded her hope, one crane at a time. Perhaps it's our turn to carry it forward.